Please remember to like, subscribe, and never forget to ring that bell. What is up, everybody? I am Chris Knight, and this is Chaos Central's The Andor Roundtable, or Andor Roundtable, however you want to put it. D is optional. What is going on, everybody? I have two of the regulars here, and I know Shifty's going to be on his way. We might have one other or two others, not positive yet, so this could be fairly short. It may not be, depending. Perhaps Shifty is writing all his notes down right now as we speak. I don't know. So, with that said, it is possible. Let's go ahead and have everybody talk about themselves first. We will start with Austinator. Austinator, go ahead and tell us about yourself.
Yes, hello everybody. I'm the Austinator. I do stuff on my channel. I am also the youngest two-time winner of the Rumble, because I won this last week. So, you know, it's some fun stuff. I've done a couple streams recently. So getting back in the groove of things, you know, just confident as always. That's all. And if you don't feel confident, sometimes you just gotta say to yourself, "You're not a little bitch. You're not a little bitch. You don't have confidence. You're a little bitch." So that's the motto I live by. Chris, thanks for having me on. Oh
Not
God, I can't wait to talk about the Tricks episode of Andor.
Tricks. Oh boy, I know that's going to come back in some way, shape, or form. We will get to that here in just a second. Positive, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself.
I was like Andor, just love Star Wars stuff, basically.
Very good. Very good. I am Chris Knight. Of course, The Real Review 3000 is my channel right there. I know why it didn't show up. Because I forgot to turn off the one side. There we go. Anyways. That's all I have to say, guys. So let's talk about Andor. And we'll kind of try to stall a little bit. Waiting on Shifty to get in here. And, Mandor.
Greetings.
Mandor. Is that really what you're going to go with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, I get it.
I did too, but go ahead, Shifty, and tell everybody about yourself real quick.
I'm Shifty.
Okay, well,
I mean, you can't fault him for the fact that it's short. I mean, what is it they tell men all the time? You can only work with what you got.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I just got home.
Where were you?
I was out.
Out. That's fair.
Out.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll let you get off with that. Okay. We've got the four of us. Let's see what happens with two others that might show up. But let's talk about this really quick here. Overall thoughts of episode 5, The Axe Forgets. Who would like to start? Don't
I,
everybody jump at it.
I guess I'll start.
Go ahead, Austin. Man, I felt like it was like that 10th grade first class of the year. Like, all right, who would like to tell us what they did this summer? You do know how old we are now, right? And everybody's just sitting there like, because you know the teacher's going to call on you if you don't say I'll start.
Yeah, pretty much.
Go ahead, Austin.
Listen, one of the few things I remembered about this episode was literally the crying guy from last couple episodes eating a bowl of cereal. And it wasn't even a full bowl of cereal. It was just like 5 pieces of cereal and just a bunch of blue milk. So I almost wanted to say, do you want any cereal with your milk? As far as the episode goes, it was fine. Like, there was a lot more development with the characters with Andor. There wasn't enough Luthen. Mon Mothma did some things. We do see more of her personal life and how shitty the husband and daughter kind of are. There's just a lot of development, and I think next episode will probably be the heist episode or somewhere down the line. But overall, it was fine, some development, but there was just cereal. That's all it comes down to with this episode is tricks. Because that's literally what the guy was eating, tricks.
I don't know. It looked like a mix between Trix and Captain Crunch.
Oh, it could have been that too. It could have been that Captain Crunch, oops, all berries.
Yes, there you go. Could have been, maybe, I don't know. All right, Mr. Shifty, what were your overall thoughts?
That cereal was cool though because it was multicolored. I don't know how they did that, but that was neat. That was an odd episode, Andor. It felt like a lot like episode 2. I think we'll get the confirmation next week that the show is broken into 3 episode story arcs, something that worked for its debut, but it's kind of frustrating after moving to a 1-a-week release. They probably should put these out in batches. It still had some good moments, but nothing amazing as the best characters were relegated to the side with focus primarily on the mission prep for next week's heist. Weakest episode far, but in retrospect, when watched in a binge, it probably won't matter.
I still don't know if you're correct about that story arc break, because I don't think it really is. It just feels like it's a continuing story all the way through.
Well, if they finish up the heist this week and then they move on, we'll know for sure.
Yeah, you could look at it like that, but I still think it's continuing forward from the same storyline. It's just continuing moving on. And while, yes, I understand there's 3-part, like first part on the planet, he gets off the planet, now it's the heist, then they'll go to something else, but it's still continuously moving forward. So it is more like a regular TV series where you have the overall behind, the big thing in the series that comes back here and there. And then you have individual smaller story arcs, which
I'm trying to think of it. I'm trying to think of another show that did something like this, but I can't think of anything right now.
Positive.
They put the cereal in serialized.
Yes, they did. They did do that. That is for sure. Okay, and is that it?
Yeah, for now.
Okay. I would say I think they kind of dropped the ball on this one. And I'll get to why I think that, but I didn't hate this episode. I mean, I really didn't hate it. It just, I think they kind of dropped the ball on where they should have been at the end of this episode. So that's what I will say right now. Let's do likes really quick. Likes. Who would like to start with likes? Positive. How about you?
I guess I like the cereal.
Well, are you sure though? Because you never tasted the cereal. You don't know for sure.
That's true. Tricks are for kids, after all.
Could be really bad cereal, maybe. Is that it? Just the serial part. Nothing else.
Well, I mean, I like, I guess, the Martha scenes
Okay.
that we got. Um, Otherwise, there wasn't too much else um, besides that, really, that I was interested in.
Okay. Fair enough. Ostinator.
Oh gosh, it's my turn. Um, I liked the development with the on the Andor and like the rebel character side of things. Like I like that we get a little bit more reasoning on why those characters are doing a heist because they just don't like the Empire, and they give specific reasons for it. Like one character like lost his brother and the other character lost a lover, and so they're like, yeah, no, we hate the Empire. And I like that they kind of don't trust Andor because like they basically said they don't really know a lot about him. And you see I don't even remember what the other character's name. I think the character was Skeen or something, where he steals the necklace, and then Andor had to reveal that he's basically just being paid to be there. And then Vel's like, "Well, what the hell, you asshole? Why'd you say that? Now you just blew the plan apart." But I thought at least though that kind of side of things was somewhat interesting because at least you get some more development with the characters. And the music again was great. I like the visuals. The little portion we do see of Luthen, I think Luthen is still a really cool character. The Mon Mothma stuff is interesting, but I don't know how to put it. It at points it does feel. No, I'd maybe put that in my negatives, but I would say at least the Mon Mothma stuff seems somewhat interesting with the whole like, is the husband like gonna turn on her at some point, or are they gonna do something with that, vice versa? It seems interesting. Like they got some interesting things that they have here. And also the crying guy, I don't even know his name. I'll just call him Crying Guy from now on because that's all he reminds me of. He just looks like he wants to cry all the time. And so the uncle, I kind of want to see where that's gonna lead, and if he's gonna play a major role as like maybe like a villain of some sort. So they have interesting things going on. It's just I don't know how to put it. It's just because it's so early to tell, and they have things to setting up, but it's just how they're gonna get there that's interesting. But at the same time, it's just like it's fine, but we still have to get to that point where it's like we kind of get over the hill, I guess you could say. Like once it starts to pick up, I think it'll get a little better, but right now it's just kind of still in the slow phase.
Okay. All right. Very good. Shifty likes.
Okay, first some trivia. Lucasfilm used a repurposed ice cream maker on the Mandalorian to serve as the Beskar case Mando would carry his reward around in. Mm-hmm. The navigational tool Nemec shows Cassian in this week's episode of Andor was also a repurposed real-world item any child of the 80s should be able to spot. Did anyone notice what it was?
Which part of it was it?
When Nemec pulled out the navigational device and he showed it to Cassian before he gave his speech, they were sitting by the fire and he pulled out that navigational doohickey, and Cassian's like, "Oh, that's an old one." Do you know what that was?
I'd have to go back and look at it. I might know what you're talking about, but I can't even speak to that one part.
Okay, it was actually a stripped down Polaroid camera. I thought that was pretty neat.
Oh, that thing. It was parts of a Polaroid. I don't know if it was actually. No, here's the thing.
I looked it up. It was an NX20 model, I think it was called. I looked it up because somebody else had spotted it too, and I was like, "Is that a Polaroid camera underneath?" Yep. It was turned backwards, and the casing was removed on it.
Well, yeah, hold on just a second. I think they did the same thing they do with I'm trying to find the picture from there.
It did look like they added two like brackets on the side to it to make it look a little bit different, but the basic thing was a Polaroid camera stripped down. And
I'm looking here. Yeah, what they did is they popped the plastic piece off of there, and it probably had a couple other things. But yeah, no, and I think if I remember right, that's kind of what I thought right when I saw it. I was like, oh look, it's Polaroid. But that's how Star Wars did things.
yeah,
They always did practical items. But I do like that, and then the Mandalorian. These two shows especially seem to have been doing a lot more of that.
yeah, it's pretty neat.
Go ahead.
Other likes, Nemec had a really great monologue about his manifesto. I think both him and Cyril Karn, the crying guy, are going to have the most growth over this course of the series, and they'll kind of parallel each other as they each rise in the ranks of the rebellion and the Empire. You, Chris, said we probably wouldn't see the folks on Ferrix anytime soon, but we got confirmation that the occupied planet we saw in the trailer is indeed Ferrix, as we learned that the Imperials are setting up a HQ there in this past week's episode. Do I like the cities being occupied?
We didn't see them yet. No, we didn't see them though.
But they'll be. Well, it's coming. It's coming.
Maybe.
We got confirmation that Star Wars has its second on-screen lesbian couple, which was worked nicely into the dialogue, which didn't overshadow the story or their development. The continued efforts in making a single TIE fighter flyovers incredibly tense moments. We've never really seen the Empire fucking with civilians on that sort of level. I mean, every time they fly by, it's just panic mode. They're like, get down, take cover. Shit's going to happen if they see us. And it kind of did this past episode because, I mean, it flew right overhead. And I love Cyril's mom. I kind of want a galactic coffee talk with Edie Karn. I'm sorry, I'm feeling a little bit verklempt. Talk amongst yourselves.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I thought. As soon as she started talking, I was like, oh my God, it's coffee talk.
Oh. Yeah. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay.
It was a weird episode.
It was. I won't disagree with that. I mean, I understand what they're doing with it. What's his name? Shifty, the guy that's crying with mom and all that.
Cyril Karn.
Cyril. Yeah.
Hey, that's maybe why he was eating cereal. Cyril.
I sure hope not. Anyways, I get what they're doing with him. They're kind of like doing the same thing they did with oh shoot, now I forget her name from Obi-Wan.
Reva,
yeah. It's almost the same story, except Reva actually went and acted. He's not acting, but you can tell he's waiting for a moment. I still think that he's going to end up doing something that's going to get him brought into the Empire, and the Empire's going to give him a high status or something. I think he'll do something like that, or he'll die. He'll be one or the other. But I know he's going to want to go after Andor, and eventually that's going to be his moving piece.
Well, more than likely that Imperial chick is going to come to him at some point, and they're going to talk about the investigation.
There's a possibility of that. But you see, what he was... I'm not positive about that because she's investigating the Star Navigational Unit. He was not. He was just he was investigating the murders. So I'm not really sure if she's going to go to him wondering anything because they never really saw that. The Empire found it.
Do they? I mean, do they have the records of what Cassian looks like? And
Well, if they took over the place, that all that stuff would have been kept there.
okay,
That puck he has, it's just one he kept with him, which is surprising because that I kind of thought was something that they would have taken from him, but whatever. We won't get into that. I do like the storytelling that's still going on, and a lot of what you guys said about the conversations that Andor has had with a couple of people. He eventually has now shown his hand, which is, I don't really care. I don't have to be here. I'm here because I'm getting paid. So everybody else has a reason. He doesn't have his reason yet, and we've already discussed that. His reason is going to be something along the lines of his sister, the girl back at the other planet. That's what his reasoning is going to be. It's going to be something like that, but he doesn't have it yet. So the only reason why he's there is he's getting paid. And I think once that happens, while everybody's still somewhat on edge, you see they have to respect him for at least making, giving the truth out. He's like, you know what, screw it. I'm not going to be constantly accused or whatnot. So there was a plus side to that moment. I liked that. Again, the visuals, the movement of everything. It's great. I love it. The music's great. And they're focusing enough on all the parts of all the different characters that I really do like how that's going on. And I like the contrast between oh god, yeah, I see names today. Horrible. The guy that told Andor to go do this, Shifty, help me out. Luther, yes. I like that it showed that on course, and he's worried about this, but he can't be there because obviously he's too entrenched in other things. And I think we're going to find out he's more entrenched than we already think he is because of Mothma. I think she is going to end up having to fall back to him, and they're going to have to work together to get away. Because I do believe the husband's going to be a problem. Now, as a daughter, probably something like that's going to happen. Because obviously the daughter already hates her. And the dad is looking like, her husband is looking like a rat, if you ask me. So those are some things I liked. Let's talk about what we didn't like. Start with Shifty.
Okay. My first dislike is you can't watch Disney Plus shows on 1.5 speed like Netflix. I watch these multiple times, and sometimes, I don't have much time, and I like to watch things on double speed, and they don't have that option, not even on PC, and that sucks. Also, Mothma's daughter is nearly as annoying in the early scenes so far as Sansa Stark was on Game of Thrones early on, and that's pretty bad. I mean, that she was kind of grating in her introduction here, but understandably so, as her father is playing her against Mothma, as there's speculation, like you just said, that they might not just have different political ideologies, but he may be feeding information of his wife's exploits to the Empire, because that last scene, he was like, I didn't know about that fundraiser or something. And obviously she's probably that fundraiser or whatever they were talking about is her trying to get money for the rebellion or whatever on the side, and he found out or whatever. And also my favorite characters weren't in this ep or had minimal involvement. So that's another reason why this episode felt off to me, but that's about it.
Okay. Positive dislikes.
Yeah, it's just the pacing is slower than hell. Basically, I really really fleshing out every character big time. And unless they're going to survive, I really am not going to care about how much they flesh out these characters. Because, yeah, I mean, I have no investment in anybody but Andor and Mon Mom, because I know they're the only two that survive right now.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else, I could almost care less about how much they flesh out their character. So yeah, they're really moving at a crawling speed, basically, to me, in these episodes. Because yeah, I felt like we were at least going to get on the inside of the freaking place they're going to attack. But no, we haven't even gotten on the inside, for crying out loud. So yeah, they are really, really crawling along with their pacing. And yeah, unless there's some kind of payoff to it, which I doubt, then I'm really not. It's really starting to bother me. The only part I should add this to my likes is the part where Andor was teaching him. Yeah, you don't want to have a left-handed guy on the with his gun on the inside there. You want it on the outside, and that is true. So I did like that part of it. So that was good military training there. So yeah, that's maybe the only part of all that training that they went through that I've liked so far. Was him interjecting some, actual military strategy into it, into their group. And yeah, what are the women doing? And it's going to be interesting now. Are we, and the way this is going? Gosh, I don't know. I don't see how they can pull off this heist, this infiltration and stuff in one episode with the pacing they're going in. So it's almost like now they're going to have to rush the good parts to me, but yet they're taking their time getting there. So that's only, in a way, that's only to me a bad thing, because I don't think we're going to spend enough time on this infiltration. It's going to be like a boom, boom, you're done, and just like that kind of thing is what it's shaping up to be. So, yeah, and what are the women doing? They haven't explained what the heck the women are going to be doing at all. And I'm beginning to wonder that we're not ever going to actually see what they've done. I mean, granted, there's only two of them, so it's like, what can they do? So I don't know, but yeah, it's I guess we might see them doing something, but I guess yeah, we'll find out. And then the other dude being a hard ass on his own troops, the guy who's the infiltrator. I'm guessing he's doing that on purpose, because at first he's like, "Oh, I don't want any. I'm going to make you guys stay on shifts during this event that only happens once every however many years it happens." I guess whatever they said in the original episode, or episode a couple days ago, or whatever the heck it was. I think it's every 70 years, 60 years, something like that. Well, whatever it is, but or maybe it's more often than that. But anyway, so yeah, him being a hard ass on his troops, but then kind of lightening up so that because he wants to ensure that you have the lightest amount of security as possible when this infiltration is going to occur. So then he relents and says, "Okay, I'll let you slide this time, but make sure you clean up whatever the heck you said to clean up there or whatever." But yeah, those are my main complaints, basically.
Okay. Austinator.
Well, a lot of the negatives I'm going to say are basically going to echo everybody else. I agree the pacing in this episode is really slow. Again, I understand why we're only episode 5 in a 12-episode series, so I understand it being slow. And I get that this episode was being used to basically be the bridge for the heist episode, but the problem is we're still kind of it's slow. And I think Shifty said it best. I think these episodes really should have just been released in batches rather than releasing them one at a time, because this is an example of a show that maybe I actually would have preferred this show as a movie, to be quite honest with you. Like, I would have rather every one of these episodes be condensed into maybe a 2.5 hour film, because it's one of those things where, like, I think also positive said, and this also goes into my negatives, is like, yeah, there's a lot of development with these characters, but how much of it is it really going to mean, especially when we don't really know how long these characters are going to last? Like, yeah, you can add development to a character, but if they add nothing to said story, or they're only going to be around for a limited amount of time, it's really hard for me to connect with these characters. Like, don't get me wrong, like, some of them do have some interesting backstory to them. It's just how they're going to use them towards the end is where I'm kind of concerned about. And I agree with Shifty. The daughter is kind of grating a little bit, and especially that whole the whole back and forth between Mon Mothma and her daughter. It dragged out way too long, and it felt kind of, I would say, long, and also very, not necessarily awkward, but very just long. I guess that's the word for it. Yeah, honestly, I think those are really my negatives.
Okay. Very good. Look who we got, guys. It's Geiskar of the Basco Scenario. Geiskar, how you doing?
Hey guys, what's up?
What up?
Not too much.
So,
Let's have you introduce yourself really quick, and then give us your overall thoughts, your likes, and your dislikes for this episode of Andor.
Oh my gosh! All right. The Basco Scenario, Guy Scar's my name. Every Wednesday, have a show called The Hangout, 8 p.m. Eastern. Check us out. Overall thoughts. Slow burn is a nice word to give it. It's more like watching it in still motion almost, this show. And my likes, the fact that you're seeing the direction that it's going now, you have more of a picture of what the purpose is, to infiltrate and to obviously get information in order to start the cause, right? They're all working up on starting the cause. So it's interesting. I find it interesting, even though it's painfully slow, that we're getting some kind of traction with what their main objective is, to start sabotaging and causing trouble to the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
I like the facts that the little Easter eggs here and there that you're getting, the name dropping of Scarif and stuff like that, that ties it into Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
As well. There's other things too. There's a bunch of Easter eggs that are in the antique shop that are tying into the Force Unleash, as well as what you call it, Rebels, the animated series. It's just, I like that because it's trying to tie everything in. I understand people's gripes with the show and having issues. I think I heard Austin say before that people are having trouble connecting with the characters because I would have to blame the writing. It's very dry, and also the performance. But is that the actor or is that the director's fault, or the direction they want this to go? Dislikes the pacing. I think you said it as well, Chris, many times before. The pacing is what it's hurting these shows, and the consistency of it. I think, we want to expect more, but we're not getting more. But hopefully the next few episodes, it's going to pick up the pace a bit and get to see it, because I am interested overall in the show. I'm interested in where it's going to go. Yes, we know that he's going to end up dying at the end, but I'm still interested to see how things unravel.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it. I have to give my grade.
Not yet.
Not
We
yet?
haven't gotten there yet, so we will hold off just a second. What my dislikes are primarily the mother-daughter scene. While we've gotten bits and pieces of the of parenting in Star Wars, we've never gotten that side of it. And I don't think it's necessary. There's nothing in it that really helps a Star Wars thing. I think sometimes part of the reason why we stay away from why we go to things like Star Wars or things like that is those types of things are not in there. We've all had arguments with our kids. Our kids think we're stupid. Our kids think we're overbearing, all of that. We know that. But we don't want to watch the same damn thing that we deal with at home. Now, if you're watching a sitcom, that could change. That could be different. There are times when you watch something, I don't think we watch Star Wars and expect to see that. The big thing that they dropped the ball on this time. My idea of the pacing for this show is it's perfectly fine for the most part, but we have to keep that movement going. We didn't get that this time. We did get stuff that happened that helps us move in the story or the overall plot, but we didn't really move. We moved from the camp to another camp. We have not attacked the dam or whatever they're going to do. So we really didn't get anywhere new. They had so far gone from, the planet to another planet to where he's trying to get off the planet. It was constantly moving to something new. The next step, oh, hey, here's the Star Path unit you wanted. Oh, you want me to go with you? Oh, we're going to jump from the system. I'm going to go to this place. Now I have to go with these guys. Now it's always moving. This one kind of just felt like it stopped. Oh, I mean, there's movement within the plot, but there's not really movement within the series this time around. And I think they should have started at least the tactical advance on the dam. They should have followed the women. I agree with that. I think we'll see what the women are doing. And the guy, the security force guy, I mean, listen, you can cry on your Cheerios only so long. Let's just move. And I know he's brooding. I know he's trying to think of his next step, and he doesn't want to be there with his mom. He doesn't want to work for his uncle. So that's why I think ultimately he'll move along, but he should have already done that. He should have told his mom, you know what? I don't have time for that. I'm going to move. I'm going to go. I'm going to go see somebody with the, Empire. I'm going to go talk to them because I moved on this and I thought this, and this. And if you, like, for instance, if you had him seek out the Empire and what's her name, the blonde-haired chick, if you had him seek her out, that would make a lot more sense because he would find out that she's looking at something other than what the rest of them are looking at, and that they are the two that can piece these things together because she knows that it's something other than what they're showing their hand on. And the Empire's not, they don't think that's happening. She knows that they're most vulnerable in these places of, well, we don't think that that's where they would hit us because what would it do to us type thing. I think that movement would have been much better, but no, he's still sitting at home crying in Cheerios, which is so pointless for this so far. But that's some of my dislikes. Geiscar, why don't you start us with our grades? That's the word I'm thinking of.
Grade, I would have to give this a C. I'll give this a C.
C. Very good.
Yeah.
Any predictions?
There will be. I think we're going to get our first death next episode. Someone's going to die of that crew.
Okay, I can see that. That would make some sense. They're going to have to kill somebody. I mean, they're going to have to start killing off some people. That's how I see it.
Mhm.
Because then there's got to be stakes in it. Yes, I know the stakes are going to be false because, as many of us have stated, Andor lives past all this. Two seasons, he's going to live. But there still can be stakes for the other people around him. So that is necessary, I think. Shifty, grade, please.
B minus.
Okay. Any
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And also, I want to say the reason why they're taking their time with Cyril Karn is because, like I said earlier, they're trying to have him mirror Nemec on the rebel side. They both have ambition, but they're really inexperienced. So it's kind of paralleling each other.
He doesn't have any parallel to him. None, because he has done one thing. He's failed in what he wanted to do. He went out of his way to not follow orders. And then in the process of doing that, he went home, and now he's crying. Nemec at least is doing something.
He had no. I mean, they basically said your career is over. They kicked him out, so he's.
That's fine. Somebody tells you you're in his position. Somebody tells you your career is over. You were ambitious enough to break rank and go after Andor. That type of character wouldn't go home and cry to mommy.
But I don't think
He broke his character right there.
It's not a complete one-to-one parallel because they're one episode or two episodes off between the introduction of Nemec. So it's not moving at the same pace, but they kind of do have the same qualities on each side. They're both ambitious but inexperienced, and I think that they're going to play out to where, I mean, just watch. My predictions, I think Skeen is going to get killed off next week because you don't build up a character like they did in this past episode without offing them. I mean, if anybody's lost or anything like that, anytime somebody's been given like a big episode like that, next episode killed. And I think that's going to be a catalyst for Nemec's growth. I think he's going to wisen up this a little bit because like Skeen even pointed out, he's just kind of. He has a lot of ambition, but he hasn't really had any experience in the battlefield and whatnot. I agree with what Nindroid was saying on Galactic Chat. Dedra's investigation may lead her to Orson Krennic from Rogue One when she's trying to find out more about the star chart thing that Cassian installed, because Nemec was a scientist and dealing with that sort of stuff before working on the Death Star. So we may see Ben Mendelsohn pop up in one of these episodes coming up. Also, I think the new driver, Mothma's husband, keeps forgetting the name of, isn't one of his men. And I think he could be a bodyguard. That may be a twist. And he was put in place by someone Luthen isn't even aware of, possibly Bail Organa. So we'll have to see. And that's my predictions.
Okay. All right. Austinator.
I would give it a C for cereal.
Any predictions?
Kind of like what everyone else said. I do think there's going to be a death next episode, and I think they're going to do the heist next episode too. So at least there's going to be a little bit more interest there. I don't know. I'm just kind of just letting it all play out.
Okay. Fair enough. Positive.
Yeah, I'll do like a C to the most. Yeah, it's and then if they had this just being a 3-episode arc, then and they get out of there, and maybe a few people die along the way. And then the next one is a 3-episode arc, and then a final 3-episode arc. The problem to me, with doing it one at a time, then will then be that we don't get it's almost like the first 3 episodes, the first 2 are kind of boring, and then the third is the action. So to keep doing that, where you got 2 kind of boring episodes, and then the third one you finally get the action every time, then that's going to get old pretty quick. It's and right now, until they prove otherwise, that's their current MO. Have 2.
And what was your grade?
A C.
Go ahead.
Because right now you got 2 pretty boring episodes followed by 1 exciting episode, and obviously if the heist is this episode, it better be exciting. Otherwise, oh my god. But that's the main issue I have with it, I guess, is this how slow it's going, I guess, at the moment. It's probably not totally its fault, but I don't know how else to put it. But it's it's just slow, and not that not that exciting, I guess, in most parts, until the last episode of the set. So I guess this will prove that precedent, basically.
We'll see. Anything else?
No, I mean, as far as predictions, I really don't. Everybody's going to die except for Andor and Manta. That's my prediction.
I don't think that's going to happen, but I don't know. Maybe. Grade.
Oh, well, I mean, on the rebel side at least. Imperials, they'll probably all win it, but yeah.
I don't know about that either, though. I don't know. I don't think that's going to be the case because I think we're going to get to see Saw Gerrera, that he doesn't die until Rogue One. I mean, ultimately, yes, a lot of these people we're going to see will die at some point, but I'm not sure what's going to happen in the series. We'll have to see. There will be some deaths, I'm sure, but I'm not sure if we're going to get that right away. I mean, I think this next one, if they attack that dam, they will have to. Something's going to go wrong. Somebody's going to die and give their life up probably for Andor. And he's going to think, oh my God, no, this is so senseless. Now I have to kill everybody in the Empire. Maybe, I don't know. I give it a C+. I don't know. Right now, I think that there's some, I think there's things in the movement and in the works that could be exciting, but they still need to work on their pacing just a little bit on this. Although this is probably one of the better series, I think, with pacing. I know that sounds weird because it does feel slow, but like I said, I like Blade Runner and how it goes. This feels like Blade Runner, so I will say that. Does anybody else like Blade Runner here? Anyone? No?
Original, yeah. Original, yes.
I mean, I feel like that's the thing. You didn't like the new one?
No.
Huh.
I got them both. I haven't seen the new one. I got to go back and watch the original again, and that's a tough time for me because I fall asleep within 30 minutes every time I've tried. Yeah.
Interesting.
What was that?
Okay. I said
Okay.
interesting. Yeah. All right. Well, we've said what we had to say. There wasn't a lot in this episode, so I do hope the next episode will definitely give us a lot more to talk about. And other than that, we're going to go ahead and go around one more time. Have you guys tell everybody about yourselves one more time. Start with positive. Positive, tell everybody about yourself.
Just like watching Star Wars shows. movies, whatever. So yeah, I'm interested. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just yeah, in a way the pacing and stuff like that. That's kind of keeping me out of this to the max.
Okay, very good. Austinator, talk about yourself and what you're up to.
Hello, I am the youngest two-time Rumble winner, the Austinator. I do things on my channel. Sometimes I like to just rant about how people act, double standards and stuff, and I like shitting on the Arrowverse because that's always fun to shit on. I don't know. I do a lot of things wrestling related. Sometimes I go into superhero stuff, Cobra Kai. Just check it out. I'm on everybody's channels at this point. Like I'm on Guy Scar's channel on Wednesdays. I'm on Chris Knight's channel, Chaos Central, Ninjoid's channel, everywhere. Just find me everywhere and listen. This is just words of encouragement. If you ever feel down on yourself, always say to yourself, do not be a little bitch. Do not be a little bitch. Because let me tell you, that's it. It's a good wake-up call or just a good picker-upper. And also don't never forget, crying guy ate 5 pieces of cereal with literally half a gallon of blue milk in a bowl. Chris, thanks for having me on.
True. I mean, because the mom just like
yeah. And then she just hands him like a tray full of like, I don't even know what it looked like, a fucking spiky plant. And I'm like, bro, what are you gonna do with that?
And that's actual fruit. You can buy those at the store.
Well, yeah,
They're like
but that's a
passion
point.
fruit
Is
or
like, what the hell? So far, all those scenes in his mother's apartment are like, what are every time you think you might get something more? No, it's you have no prospects. Why don't you tell me you have no prospects? Don't you know you have no prospects? I called your uncle. Your uncle's going to help you get a job. He thinks you should do this. And he just sits there the whole time like, and that's all. That's all we get. We've had 2 cutaways for that. Oh, and his mom slapped him. That was like the most exciting parts of all of that.
Well, they had to cut the scene where Barbara Streisand comes over to visit.
You don't send me flowers anymore.
Coffee talk.
Okay, anyways. All right. Shifty, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself.
Hi, my name is Shifty. You can find me on the Twitter or in the chat tonight at 10 p.m. on Honstar's channel for the return and the first episode of Name That Tune, hosted by Deej Odyssey and Chris Knight. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time.
We're looking forward to it. All right, last but not least, it's Geiscar of the Basco scenario. Geiscar, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself one more time.
Yep, Geiscar from the Basco scenario. You can catch me on Wednesdays, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern for the Hangout, where you can catch Austin, Jason Lee Tucker, Danny, aka Comic Chat, as well as Ninjoid, and sometimes some special guests. So yeah, tune in, man. Thank you for having me, Chris.
Sometimes every like 2-3 months I show up.
Yeah.
If I can.
Small doses.
Yeah.
It's
like after I get on there and leave, everybody's like, God, don't invite him back, please.
Well, no one's ever said that.
I know, I'm kidding. Well, at least I hope I'm kidding. Anyway, thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. You're going to be on the She-Hulk Roundtable here in a few minutes.
Yeah,
right?
I will be. Yeah.
Okay, cool, yeah. Guys, check that out. That is at 7 o'clock, so here in about 30 minutes. The She-Hulk Roundtable will be over here also. And then tonight, Name That Tune. Guys, thank you very much. I appreciate everybody coming. Thank you to my panelists. And with that said, everybody say goodbye.
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 Adios, muchachos.